Una good day and welcome today na the VAfrica interview with me, Fatmata Samura. Today, I get on me fine brother when I'm Mohamed Kelfala Sesay. He can tell you something about albinism. He go introduce himself to una family.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fatmata. Like you say, my name is Mohamed Kelfala Sesay. A lot of people know me as Mega, and of course, me now the programs officer at the Sierra Leone Albinism Foundation. As we in the foundation, they look at the welfare and well-being of persons with albinism in Sierra Leone. I mean, I'm also a journalist, a broadcast journalist. I work for Radio Mercury, and I mean, I finally a student as well, now the mass communication department at Fubi College.
Wow, that's nice. Mohamed or Mega, just as people can normally call you. So man can wonder, say this albinism or juice, as we can call them per Creole, what it can actually cause them?
Well, thank you very much, Fatmata. I think this is a very important question because for quite too long, a lot of people on the misconcept the within the then mean when they say this person with albinism. Biblically, first, we are told that God made man in His image and likeness. He didn't tell you black or white. So what you say, then He born you as a human being, you get a different color, which means to not forget a question about that because the God Himself will make we tell you say no make somebody it's not about black or white. And scientifically, we are told that for a person be a person with albinism, we can call like you say juice. Now because of you lack the pigmentation, we're responsible for the coloring of the skin and call them melanin. And during when you mommy they gets you belly, if during the process when you try to become a human being, for let them give birth to you. If you lack the melanin, there is all possibility for let them born you. You get the color where a lot of people they call you. So scientifically, it's because we lack the melanin. We're not the pigments responsible for the coloring of the skin, and that's why you see then they born somebody as a juice. And one thing very much clear, I was in this interview that persons with albinism, you defend we not everywhere in the world. We didn't all the continents, then we didn't different race. You know, in Africa, nobody defend somebody we get the color. Even in America, I get friends in America and persons with albinism. Even in Europe, everywhere, Asia, you defend somebody we get this color. So that's simple. We are all over the world, and because of the lack of the pigmentation, now make them the born somebody get this color.
Okay. Like as you rightly say, una they all over the world, but yet still they see few of una na big places them, their office them. What think can cause that?
Well, because of the discrimination, I think saying one thing we very much key. In 2018, we've been doing a survey we've been sponsored by Osira, where the major outcome of that survey, the culture of discrimination now one way that make a number of persons with albinism not able to reach their full potential. That is why, despite the fact that you will say persons with albinism we not boku, but again, that's not the reason we make it find out. You know, they see boku persons with albinism the whole big position in society. Because why? The discrimination, not so everybody capable for withstand the discrimination, for able for overcome. Like it happened for me now, I would say, because of the orientation where I get in a host, the way how many people then bring me up, the upbringing, you know, that confidence would then instill in me, say me not to somebody who inferior, then give me that confidence, say me not a human being. That don't make anywhere I go. I like you think say me now somebody inferior, I know they watch you. I they look to it now for doing at the end of the day I deliver. We I believe say if I deliver, that's good help for make you change perception. But we get people out there where they live with this condition. When they discriminate against them, they're not able to forget that self-confidence in themselves, say we are humans. So at the end of the day, they make them able to reach them full potential. When we are going to school, they will provoke you. A lot of people don't drop out of school because of the provocation, the discrimination. A lot of people not able to get job because of them they discriminate against them. You know, a lot of people self in relationship self, you can tell you can meet with somebody, be it man or woman, he will like you, but the next time you introduce you to a friend, we sentence get a different perception about persons with albinism, it will discourage them from loving you. So these are the things. Persons with albinism, because of the skin color, we've been discriminated in different facets of society. You know. But I think that's why we as a foundation, the Sierra Leone Albinism Foundation, we don't embark on the advocacy thing for change the mindset, for change the perception of people, for let them believe, say, persons with albinism are just like normal people. It's just because of the pigmentation. If we encourage them, we not discriminate, then they can be better people in our society.
Okay. Well, with this discrimination going on, and mostly the thing we can mourn people with albinism na skin cancer. We get the social welfare where I believe saying that they for take care of una. So waiting, then don't put in place for let una go they be somebody in this country and also for let that skin cancer they let reduce.
Well, it's sad to say that it's not only about the Ministry of Social Welfare. We can even talk about this and make reference to the Ministry of Health, because skin cancer is a health issue to say. Sad to say, because of we are in Africa, the sun. If we all want the sun, but the sun not that much friendly to we. You understand? So that can make persons with albinism, when you do under the sun for long, when the sun burn you, you can develop to skin cancer at the end of the day. If you not take time, you lost your life. But here in Sierra Leone, when thing at the thing we make a lot of people with and they come in contact with skin cancer and they die now, because I learned from a very senior medical practitioner that we not get a dermatologist in Sierra Leone, a qualified dermatologist. And then in one way I would say not two, because we get 4 of we colleagues them in the last 3 years we don't die. When they get diagnosed with skin cancer, how they gonna come out of hospital and able to get the required attention, then can let them fly them out. By the time we can call because of the money knocking, then they die. So skin cancer na thing we major, and it's not about the Ministry of Social Welfare, but even the Ministry of Health, by extension the central government, because one thing where we believe say them for put in place now for make sure say they assign that don't be recalled for a number of years now, that they need for assign a special dermatologist now one of the main government hospital, because we always they get problem with skin because of the sun. So if we get them problem and we get a specialist in our hospital, then we're able for salvage the situation. So that don't be recalled. We still not get that person date, and we do hope say government will able for make sure we get a assigned dermatologist now one of the government hospital, so persons with albinism not going to die from skin cancer. And again, the sunscreen, when the cream we can apply in our body, we will go out of the sun for making get sunburn. Now, one is very much expensive, and I would tell you say, a number of persons with albinism where we can call just not able to afford them. So if government can able for to include the sunscreen and the essential drugs then when they import every year, I think that will be great, and it will be helpful to the albinism community, so that it will be available, people will be able for use them. Or if not, if they're not able for like the include in the essential drugs, so then just waive off the tax. By waiving up the tax will make it very much cheap. We mean say every other person with albinism will come able for BAM, put on our body and able for protect himself from the sun. But skin cancer now one way don't kill persons with albinism, and it's very much serious. Now that if government not come to we aid, we'll continue for see we colleagues, then they die in silence. They're not for able to get the attention we then one forget, because why? We not get the required medication, and we don't make this call, but they not they adhere to it, we call. So we know we'll stop. We'll continue for make the call, because now one thing we is very, very more dangerous for we.
Okay, I believe say the Ministry of Health and also the Ministry of Social Welfare don't get what you say. Discrimination, as I say earlier, now something, now one of the key things that will actually affect una the albinos them. Is there anything you get for say to people where they discriminate people with albinism?
Well, I get a message always where I can send out there. Life, you first of all need to accept everybody, no matter in condition, because we are all unique in our own ways. Being a person with albinism no means say you're not able to do great things. Discriminating against persons with albinism is never the answer. But rather, now embrace we for the embrace them, because I will tell you, say, if we are embraced, persons with albinism, we get a very huge potential for contribute to nation building. So the issue of discrimination in the final area, we don't talk about the issue of health. Another major issue now, issue we therefore do with persons with albinism acquiring education. That is why, as a Sierra Leone Albinism Foundation, one of our mandates, we can make sure say we do school visitations every year for educate school authorities them and also pupils them, for let them know exactly how them for they treat somebody we deal with them at school. Sad to say we not get an assistive device then in our school, because of we get problem with the eyesight because of the sun, the melanin we lack. If I not say even before doing this interview, you will get for adjust the camera for let the lights not penetrate now the eye. The eye very much light now that when the sun penetrate, you find it difficult for see. You understand? So where you do go to school, if that teacher not get an understanding, say need for placing in front of the blackboard, at the end of the day, if you dey behind, you're not able to see what the teacher they write. So because of the discrimination and some of them things that we don't embark on school visitation for educate school authorities, we don't do community sensitization, we don't do regional visits, we don't embark on media campaign, going to television and radio, just for talk to people them. Say wherever you find somebody when a person with albinism, you need not for discriminate against them. Rather, you need for embrace them, because by embracing that person, you don't help for give confidence to that person. They make you feel say yourself now a normal person, and by so doing, you will help for make the possible for reach in full potential in life. So that don't always be the call. And to we fellow persons with albinism, one thing I can always say now that we first need for believing we self. Because if you self don't exclude yourself from society, then it's obvious society they continue to exclude you. But I can always say, as persons with albinism, we need to come off we hide in places and make sure say we self do better things them. And then we put the discrimination behind we because you know only get for do it persons with albinism, even people who get the dark skin, then they discriminate them one way or the other. So put the discrimination behind you, do what you want to do. At the end of the day, you will able to reach your full potential. The good thing is that there are now laws where they're not put in place. Just about a month or two ago, I was part of the team that reviewed the 2011 Disability Act, and there are things that we did in a way the law will be very much firm now where you they discriminate against person with because of his skin color or he be a disabled. You call and they will get skin him or you do anything to him, the law will take in cause. You know, because I believe say it's high time we all live peacefully, you know, and we as a nation self able for complements the sustainable development goals in saying by that nobody not for left behind. You know, so we need for embrace inclusion, we say no to discrimination, and persons with albinism as well, we need for come out of we hiding places so that we're able to reach with full potential alive.
So if non-governmental organization or any post you want for actually do na good, like you say, na sunscreen, they're expensive, and also na get some other AFAP needs them, like una no boku na school, maybe una go need funding. Is it that una get any organization where una the albinos there in the country, una all the way person go able to reach out to una for help una?
Yeah, it's like I tell you in my initial statement, I introduced myself saying at the programs officer at the Sierra Leone Albinism Foundation. The Sierra Leone Albinism Foundation now an institution we born out of the desire for look at the welfare and well-being of persons with albinism in Sierra Leone. We secretariat then at 49 Circular Road at the 4th floor. And we also get a functional Facebook page we at the Sierra Leone Albinism Foundation. And also, you can also reach me on email when SLAFo200@gmail.com. With that, I'm for use the opportunity for say thanks to the Open Society Initiative for West Africa in Sierra, because for the past 4 years, they're not coming to aid. 2 years back, we finished a project with them where we titled Promoting the Human Rights of Persons with Albinism in Sierra Leone. And as I speak, we currently implement another 2 years project where we titled Building a Resilient Albinism Network for Development in Sierra Leone. So Osiwa don't come to aid, which is good. But Osiwa support can never be enough, though we appreciate them 100%. So we want to call on other meaningful Sierra Leoneans, them donors out there. Let them come to aid. Let them come to the aid of persons with albinism in Sierra Leone. Because majority of persons with albinism in Sierra Leone, then life is very much difficult. Then they live in a very deplorable condition. Because of the discrimination, you know, their standard of living is very, very low. So let them come to the aid of persons with albinism through the Sierra Leone Albinism Foundation for help out there. We does open a 49 Circular Road, 4th floor. We call on governments. We know it's we continue to call on them in whatever way them visit them for help in areas of health, areas of education, areas of our social well-being. Let them come to aid. Other social organizations then are the one whole world. Wherever then they let them come to aid for help for save persons with albinism from dying from skin cancer, for save persons with albinism from discrimination, for make persons with albinism self-able for live up to their full potential. So I think that's not a message like always. Let we embrace inclusion, we say no to discrimination, and in whatever way we feel for help persons with albinism, let we come through the foundation, let we help with the sunscreen, let we help with educational materials, let we give financial support as well, so that we're able for make sure say persons with albinism live a better life. If we're able to give them legal support, we are necessary as well. Let we come on board for give them the support we they need, so at the end of the day, themselves will live a peaceful and a fruitful life.
Well, that family then, Mohamed Kelfala Sesay. Don't forget, help in any way you can for assist the albino then at this country. You can please give people your last word.
Well, my last word, first of all, like I don't say, I'm for send a message to everybody that we need for embrace inclusion and say no to discrimination. And to persons with albinism, when you go out of the sun, always make sure say you put on your hat or your sunglass for make you protect yourself from the sun, or you put on long sleeve if you not get the sunscreen. And always put the discrimination behind your back. Focus on what you do, so at the end of the day, you're able to be a meaningful contributor in our society. I want to say thanks to CY and the call on others, donor them for come to your support. And I want to say plenty thank you as well to to VAfrica for those particular platform, because we need them platform there for give a voice out there, for let people know the kind of constraints persons with albinism they go through in other countries, so they're able to come to aid. So at the end of the day, we're able to live a peaceful and a meaningful life. So one more time, I want to say thanks to VAfrica, and I want to say thanks to you guys. It's been very wonderful, and I appreciate this particular platform on Agimi.
Well, Fambule, that na Mohamed Kelfala Sesay, or Mega Juice as we can normally call him, no discriminate. Me now na presenter Fatmata Samura.